So I think about a month ago on social, on my Instagram stories, I had explained about why it's important to edit your photos. So I put up 2 photos, an unedited picture of a haircut that I had did, and then an edited photo. And I had explained how important it is for you to edit your photos to increase the appeal of your page. So if you have a brand, if you have a YouTube channel, whatever you're trying to promote through your Instagram, it's important that your content is appealing. Because when your content's appealing, chances are that people will like your content and then follow you. And that's gonna increase your overall brand, increase your awareness, etc., etc. So I use 2 mobile apps. So these apps are for both iOS and Android. I use VSCO, that's VSCO, I think that's how you pronounce it, and I use Lens Distortion. Now, unfortunately, this might, I guess, make you guys not want to download the app, but VSCO is a yearly subscription, so you have to pay $20 for the app. I mean, $20, get a few friends, get 4 friends, each of them give you $5. It's worth it. You should definitely download the app. Don't let the price, stir you away from downloading it. And then Lens Distortion is free. Although I think you can pay for certain add-ons in the app, but basic functionality is free. Now I use both of these apps in conjunction because VSCO is great for overall editing, so editing your exposure, your contrast, skin tone, grain, etc. And then Lens Distortion offers some pretty cool effects that you can put on top of the edit that you put on VSCO. So, without further ado, let's get into it. I'll also be on my phone. I'll be editing in real time. So a screen record should be showing about what I'm doing over here in this area about right. Alright, so first you want to open the app. So of course go to VSCO. And before I get to editing the photo, VSCO is actually like a sharing platform similar to Instagram where people will share their photos and their edits. And even if you don't plan on editing on VSCO, which I don't know why you shouldn't or why you wouldn't, but if you download the app, you bought it, and you never edited on this, I think this would be a great source for inspiration because you can see what other content creators are like, how they're editing their photos and how their photos are coming out after they edit them. And it can give you some inspiration, give you some ideas. So definitely check out the feed, follow some artists, get some inspiration, get some new ideas, and that's dope. But of course, you want to go to your feed and you want to choose a photo. So in this case, since Valentine's Day was, a few days ago, I'm gonna choose this one with my girlfriend. Then you want to click the upload button, and as you can see, there's a bunch of preset filters that VSCO has. Way more variety than Instagram. There's so many. But if you want to do things manually, which is how I do it, I don't like applying like preset filters. I like controlling everything. You want to press those little bars at the bottom, and as you can see, there's a layout. You have exposure, you have contrast, you can straighten the image, so that's like altering like the positioning of the image. You can skew it, crop it, sharpening, saturation, highlight, shadows, temperature, tint, skin tone, vignette. I still don't know how to say that word. Grain, fade, shadows, tint, highlight, tint, and borders. So you can play with a lot. So hold up, what I pressed? Alright, back to the original image. Alright, so first, I like messing with exposure. Now the exposure is the amount of light in an image. Now when you take a photo with like your cell phone camera or a DSLR camera, it may be overly exposed or underexposed. So this photo is kind of underexposed. I kind of want to bring it up just a little bit, not too much, just to bring out some more details in the photo. So contrast deals with tones, and I personally love contrasty images. I think it makes the image look a little bit more dynamic and adds a little bit to the image, but I don't go crazy with contrast. So I'll boost the contrast just a little bit. I don't need to straighten or skew the image. Sharpening, I don't really sharpen my images like that. That just like adds a little more details to the photo. I don't really use that. And saturation. Now, if you follow me on social, you'll see that my images tend to be, like my pictures that I put up tend to be desaturated. That's kind of the look I like. But in this case, I like the sky and I want to bring out the orange in the sky. So I'll just saturate this image just a little bit. I don't want to make it look, fake and stupid. And then the highlights. Now the highlights are the light areas in a photo. That can be like your face or any light area. I don't really mess with the highlights like that. I don't think this photo needs highlights, to be honest. It needs highlights to be increased or decreased. So I'll just leave that where it is. And the shadows. Now obviously if you don't know what a shadow is, I don't know what to tell you. But you can, I guess, brighten the shadows with this image. So if I go all the way up, you see it's kind of crushing the shadows. Like it just crushes the black in my pants and the blue in my girl's coat and the black that the trees give off. Like it just crushes it. So in this case, I'm not using anything for the shadows. And then temperature. Now if you move over to the right, you see that you get a more warmer image, like a more I guess summery, that's what I'm gonna call it. And if you move to the left, you see it's more like blue, I guess more wintry to fit the theme. Now I could go in the left direction where it's, you know, cooler, but I kind of like the effect that the sun gives off, like that orangey tone in the photo. So in this case, I'ma just increase the color temperature only a little bit just to keep that orange. And then tint. Now with tint, if you move all the way to the right, you get like a purplish tint, and if you move all the way to the left, you get like a greenish tint. In this case, I kind of like the greenish tint, the way it looks on the skin tones, so I keep that just a little bit. It's like literally 0.2. Press check. Same thing with the skin tones. Orange skin tone on my face, greenish skin tone on my face. I keep the kind of greenish. And then vignette. Honestly, I don't even know how to pronounce this damn word. But this will like kind of like add more darkness to your image. Kind of like gets rid of the light in the corners. So in this case, I'm kind of feeling how that looks. I'll keep that there. And then the grain, honestly, like when I first started to edit these photos, I would put mad grain in the photos. Like I thought it made it look vintage, but the grain can take away from some details. And in this image, I think I'm gonna go no grain. Yeah, no grain. And then fade. If you follow me on social, which you totally should, you should follow me right now. I know your phone is in your hand. But the fade. Now this fade is my favorite effect, and I put it on every one of my photos. I call it the D Dames effect. I think it just adds like a certain level of like, I don't know, like it just makes the photo look fire, like dope. Like makes it look dope, feel me? So in my case, I'm not gonna go too crazy with the fade. I want my image looking totally faded out. So I'll put the fade around like 4.5. And then the shadows, obviously you know what the shadows are. You can add some color tints to that. Ooh, let's see this orange. Let me see the highlights first. No, I'll stay with the shadows. So I like the orange in the sky. So with the shadows, I'm gonna try to bring the orange just a little more, just to match the sky. And then boom, and as you can see, the image is already looking kind of different. This is the before image. This is the after. I'm kind of liking the look right now. And then after, I don't mess with the borders. Like just to show you guys, this is what borders look like. You can increase or decrease the overall size of the image to fit the border how you want it, but I'm not doing that. So I think I'm gonna bring the fade down just a little bit. And let me see vignette. Yeah, I'm liking how that looks. So, you know, after you're done, initially you want to go back again, change anything that you don't like. Maybe the exposure's wrong. In my case, I'll keep the exposure that I'm at. Or contrast. Ooh, maybe a little more contrast. Nah. Okay. Then you want to save the image. After you save it, you want to hit those three dots and you want to save it to your gallery. But we're not done yet. Now we're going to use Lens Distortion. In this app, like I said, you want to use Lens Distortion in conjunction with VSCO. So I would recommend editing on VSCO first and then Lens Distortion to add certain effects that you can't do on VSCO. So in this case, you want to choose your photo. In my case, the photo I just did, don't mind those other pictures in there. And as you can see, there's a bunch of different little effects that you can add to this photo. Right off the bat, I'm adding this effect. Like I said, I like the orange in the sun. Like the sun is setting and I like the orange, the appeal that is giving this photo, like it's warm. Like it's me and my girl, we in the snow, we cuddling, and it just feels warm. So I'm gonna put this in the corner just to add an effect to it, like increase like the the idea that the sun was shining brighter than it was. So I put that in the corner, and then you have options. You can play with the softness, you can play with the opacity. So if you don't want it to be, I guess, too like prevalent, play with the brightness. Ooh, I like that. It gives it more of a reddish tone. Yeah, I like that. Play with the contrast, a more reddish tone again. Like, there's different things that you can do to the effect. The saturation, let's see how that looks. Ooh.
Chuki beat.
But I will say a key tip is when you're adding these effects, try to make it look natural. Make it look a part of the environment. You don't want an effect to look like an effect, because people can call you out on your bullshit and it's just gonna look fake. Make it look like it was organic, like it was just a part of the image. So I'm feeling how that looks. Feeling how that looks. And then the last thing you wanna, well, for me, at least for this image, you add a layer and then you can add another effect on top of that effect. So I see all this like shimmery stuff, but it was a snowy day, so I want to choose some snow, right? And then look at that. You can play with the softness. No, I don't want to make that shit too soft. The opacity, brightness, contrast. Let's see, brightness. Let's make it a little more white. And like, this looks a part of the image. Like, again, it was a snowy day. I'm adding elements to accentuate the environment. So it makes it look dope as hell. Like, it makes it look like this was actually happening. Let me see, do I want to place this anywhere else? I think that's good. So what you want to do is then you want to save it. Boom. Now let's go on Google Photos. Albums. Boom. Where is it? Wrong album. VSCO. Matter of fact, let's do this on IG. Technical difficulties, don't mind this. Oh, that is not what y'all should be seeing. Look at that. My girl telling me to hurry up. If you don't wait your ass there, she gonna beat my ass, which is easy. Alright. So look at the difference. This was the initial image that we edited on VSCO. And as you can see, the image looks fine, like it's dope. But then when you add what we added to it, and it's like dope, bro. Like, you just accentuated all of the elements. You added more to what it was, and it doesn't look too crazy. Look at that, before and after. A simple edit. I could do a part 2 to this video because there's different kind of looks I like to do to my edits. Like, sometimes I want to go for a more vintage feel, so I apply like more grain, etc. But honestly, again, if you want to like get your Instagram up, you have to edit your photos. Like, these 2 apps are great. There's other apps out there. I can recommend some in the link, in the description below. I can link some. But you want to edit your photos so you can increase the appeal of your page. Again, if your goal is to get followers so that they can click your stuff, your content has to be on point. There's a lot of people who take badass pictures and wonder why there's no new followers, or wondering why their brand isn't growing. Your content has to be good, all right? And that's gonna do for the video. If you like the video, hit that like button, and you know, if you want to stay updated, subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate new subscribers. I have a lot of videos coming out, so make sure I stay updated. Follow me on social media. That's at @ddames on both Twitter and Instagram. I don't use Snapchat anymore, so if you know me personally, stop snapping me. I don't have Snapchat no more. I be having people like, yo Dave, you ain't answer the snap. I don't use it. So hopefully you're watching this video so you stop snapping me. But until the next one, stay safe, stay blessed. Deuce. I'll be giving y'all the next one soon.